none and done. Are we witnessing the downfall of college basketball? Is Rome burning, or is the empire just evolving again? Why am I asking these questions? 4 of the top 5 picks in the NBA draft have never played a minute of college basketball. Well, there's that big guy. The number 1 overall is your 7'4" freak of nature. You got to choose your parents carefully to be France's Victor Wembanyama. They call him Wemby. That's easier to repeat for sure. But other than Alabama's one and done, that is Brandon Miller, the rest of the top 5 took other paths to the league. Scoot Henderson from the G League and the Thompson twins, back-to-back picks, played for Overtime Elite, a 16 to 20-year-old pro league based in Atlanta. There they are. So what does it all mean? Well, the obvious is the meteoric rise of overseas leagues. Their level of playing, well, it just keeps getting better and better, and we've known that for a couple of decades now. But what about the viability of domestic and minor leagues as opposed to going to college? They now look viable, where before they didn't really have any good option. Now they do. So the model of a 1-year Duke, Kentucky, Memphis, Carolina, UCLA, Arizona, Kansas, whatever, and then bouncing to the league, it's not dead, but it's no longer the only model available. So even with NIL, if you'd rather just go play some basketball, right, until you're eligible to play ball and make a ton of money, you can make some money, you have some real options if you're that good, not just the one option, which was go to college and hang in there for 1 year. Now, the stats have said for a long time there's no real reason for these players with immense talent to take the one-and-done route. Guys like LeBron James have proven that. College seasoning doesn't really help scouts get a better idea of the guy's talent. And frankly, it's just another year you could possibly get injured if you're the player before you're really getting paid. So campus life, by the way, has no correlation to what an NBA travel life would be for a teenager. So now they have another option. So I think we're going to see fewer and fewer of the Carmelo Anthony stories, the Kevin Durant stories, the Derrick Rose stories, where you have a superstar hooking up with a program for 1 year, and then that fan base goes on a wild ride through the NCAA tournament and, who knows, gets to the final or wins it all, and then they leave the next year and make the jump to the NBA. These other options, frankly, make it a little less attractive unless you are just a kind of guy who absolutely, or gal, who wants to be in that freshman psychology class, in which case I would say, then yeah, go to college. Topic number 2, the Washington Commanders sale, right? With the meeting looming on July 20th, could it actually happen? Could the pain finally end? It's set to become the most expensive U.S. sports sale in history at $6.05 billion. Ron Rivera called the initial news a kind of relief, and I want to talk about the impact on the team on the field. I don't care what anybody else says about this. When you have turmoil in your house at the level Dan Snyder's team has had, it trickles all the way down. So if they get the 24 votes at the owners' meeting, the sale happens, quality front office personnel is brought in, and things stabilize, and there's no reason to believe then the Washington franchise can't begin to approach what it used to be, which was a contender. They have a quality veteran coach in Ron Rivera, plenty of talented pieces, and frankly, they just really need some continuity, right? Some stability, and for the love of all that is holy, some peace and quiet. Wouldn't it be nice if Washington wasn't in the news every other week for some flaming garbage story? It would be wonderful. I'm not a Washington fan, but I am a fan of fans, and frankly, Washington fans, you deserve more. Here's hoping you get it, or at the very least, some peace. But that's just my opinion.